Hey, BC here for BC Nephro. Thanks for watching. Today I'm going to give an overview of glomerulonephritis and the nephritic syndrome. For an overview of the nephrotic syndrome, glomerulopathies, check out the playlist at this channel and check out the articles at bcnephro.com. Links to both will be in the description below. So now, glomerulonephritis. First of all, what is glomerulonephritis? So glomerulonephritis is inflammation of the glomerulus. And this is invariably manifest by hematuria, glomerular hematuria. There also can be other findings. There typically, most often, is proteinuria. The proteinuria often is subnephrotic, but can be in the nephrotic range. There may be white blood cells in the urine. There can be signs of kidney damage, impaired kidney function, hypertension, and it can be a renal limited condition or part of a systemic condition. So there may be signs of systemic vasculitis. But invariably, there will be glomerular hematuria. So what is glomerular hematuria? So we have to distinguish glomerular hematuria from non-glomerular hematuria. You can get hematuria from bladder lesion, prostate lesion, a mass in the kidney, a kidney stone, urinary tract infection. And typically, these have what they call monomorphic red blood cells. The red blood cells have look nice and round, nice smooth borders. In glomerular hematuria, the blood is actually being squeezed through the glomerulus, and that causes the red blood cells to be distorted, misshapen, and this is called dysmorphic hematuria. The classic description that is very specific is an acanthocyte. So an acanthocyte is a dysmorphic red blood cell with blebs outside it, kind of look like Mickey Mouse ears. Okay, so glomerulonephritis is inflammation of the glomerulus associated with dysmorphic hematuria, may be associated with other renal or extrarenal manifestations. So glomerulonephritis can have a smoldering course that can slowly lead to progressive CKD scarring. It can have an acute self-limited course, or it can have a fulminant course with rapid deterioration in kidney function. So this last category is referred to as RPGN, or rapidly progressive glomerulonephritis. Rapidly progressive glomerulonephritis is going to result in a progressive decrease in kidney function over days to weeks or maybe months, and if untreated will lead to kidney failure in a relatively rapid period of time. It often is associated with severe inflammation on the kidney biopsy, which is manifest by crescents. Usually there's a lot of crescents. At least 50% of the glomeruli will have crescents to have this rapidly progressive course. So what causes glomerulonephritis? So there's three distinct pathophysiologic mechanisms. The first is antibodies against the glomerular basement membrane itself, which causes this inflammation. This is anti-GBM antibody disease, which may be a part of Goodpasture's syndrome. The second is immune complexes. So immune complexes from various conditions can form and deposit in the kidneys, cause this inflammation. The third is not really related to immune complexes, and is all referred to as pauciimmune, and is typically associated with ANCA types of vasculitis, which may be renal limited vasculitis or systemic vasculitis. So those are the three pathophysiologic mechanisms. One other thing to be aware of is just because there's glomerular hematuria, there may not actually be an active glomerulonephritis. So there can be a few dysmorphic red blood cells and not be a glomerular. Acanthocytes and red blood cell casts are more specific, and if there's a high percentage, about 40% of dysmorphic red blood cells, that would be suggestive of glomerular hematuria. And even if there is glomerular hematuria, there can be some conditions without an active glomerulonephritis. For example, diabetic nephropathy and other nephrotic syndromes that are typically associated with proteinuria. Sometimes there can be a low level of hematuria, glomerular hematuria with that. There is a condition, thin basement membrane disease, which is a benign familial condition, which is associated with glomerular hematuria. There's anticoagulant associated nephropathy with glomerular bleeding, with the supertherapeutic INR, something like that can be associated with glomerular hematuria. So there is a differential for other conditions that may not be a glomerulonephritis. So how do you evaluate? So first you're going to want to try to find out is the hematuria glomerular hematuria. So you're going to want to look at it under microscopy and try to see if these red blood cells are monomorphic or dysmorphic. If you see a red blood cell cast, that is pathognomonic of glomerular hematuria. If you see an acanthocyte, this is very suggestive as well. So if you see at least several red blood cells per high power field, and at least one of those or a couple of those are acanthocytes, this is suggesting glomerular hematuria. So the next step you're going to do is you're going to do a serologic workup. So the serologic workup is going to be based on the pathophysiology. Antibodies against the glomerular basement membrane, you can check for those. The different immune complex conditions, there's a different number of antibodies that you can check for those conditions. And these will be listed in the article at bcnephro.com. That'll be linked below. And then for the pauci-immune, you'll be checking for the ANCA antibodies. Then in most cases, you're going to want to do a kidney biopsy, and the kidney biopsy is going to help seal the deal on the diagnosis. Now, most of these kidney biopsies are going to show inflammation, increased cells, proliferation of glomerulus. You may see crescents. In the rapidly progressive glomerulonephritis, most of the glomeruli are going to have crescents. No matter what the cause is, you're going to see this on light microscopy. The main diagnosis is going to be made based on immunofluorescence. So if the immunofluorescence shows linear staining, this suggests the anti-GBM disease because the antibody is against the GBM itself. It's going to give this linear appearance. If it has a granular appearance, this is going to suggest the immune complex causes, because these immune complexes are deposited in not a continuous manner. So you're going to have these granular, almost lumpy, bumpy types of appearance on immunofluorescence. Whereas the ANCA association, it is a pauci-immune, you're going to see very little, if anything, maybe not anything on immunofluorescence. And that's how you're going to make the deal on the diagnosis. So we'll get more into the different conditions in future videos and future articles, and into the treatment. Let me know specifically what about this you want to hear in the comments below, or email me at bcnephro.com. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching. Hit like, subscribe, let your friends know if you think it might help them. And until next time, thanks for watching.